All You Need to Know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business.
Good morning, and thanks for listening in. This is the All You Need to Know podcast on Bloomberg Quint, and I'm Alex Matthew. Today's the 25th of June. The first bit of news isn't the best. The International Monetary Fund's forecast for India's economy swung from expansion to contraction, marking the sharpest downgrade in projections of the world's main economies. The Washington-based lender now sees India's GDP declining 4.5% in the fiscal year through March 21. That's compared with an April projection of a 1.9% growth. The 6.4 percentage point downgrade in the forecast is due to a longer period of lockdown and slower recovery than anticipated in April. The IMF said this in an update of its World Economic Outlook report released yesterday in Washington. The IMF's forecast comes at a time when infections continue to rise exponentially in India. Over 4.5 lakh people have now been infected by the COVID-19 virus. The country added nearly 16,000 new COVID-19 cases in the 24 hours to 8 a.m. yesterday. Out of the total, though, over 2.5 lakh of these have been declared as cured or discharged. In regulatory news, the Reserve Bank of India has reiterated its Fair Practices Code for all lenders and has sought additional documentation for loan contracts signed by digital lenders. This after reports emerged of aggressive recovery practices being used by some digital lenders and non-bank lenders to contend with a rise in the defaults. In a notification yesterday, the regulator said it has observed instances of digital platforms portraying themselves as lenders themselves and not naming the bank or non-banking finance company backing them. The RBI also cautioned against unscrupulous practices. Speaking of the RBI, the Cabinet approved an ordinance yesterday to bring urban and multi-state cooperative banks under the supervision of the central bank in a move aimed at giving the regulator greater control over such lenders. The ordinance will help ensure that money of 8.6 crore depositors in about 1,540 urban and multi-state cooperative banks remains safe, according to Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar, who spoke to reporters after the meeting. Amazon.com and Flipkart have agreed to compel merchants to start prominently displaying country of origin for all goods sold online in India, bowing to regulatory demands as tensions with China escalate. It's unclear, though, when the labeling will start because apparently the e-commerce companies have asked for some time to incorporate the change. If carried out, the labeling is likely to hurt sales of Chinese goods. Anti-China sentiment has erupted since a tense diplomatic and military standoff over a clash in the Himalayas last week that claimed the lives of 20 soldiers. I'm sure you're already aware of that. Since then, boycott China slogans have been trending on social media and furiously circulating among messaging groups. The Competition Commission of India has approved Facebook's purchase of a 9.99% stake in Jio Platforms, which is controlled by Mukesh Ambani. Facebook, remember, will invest $5.7 billion in Jio Platforms through Jadoo Holdings, which is an indirect, wholly owned subsidiary of Facebook. The approval from the antitrust regulator was seen as a major hurdle for the completion of this deal and the numerous others that have followed it. In international markets, equities in the US fell sharply on concerns that a resurgence in the virus would affect economic recovery. Markets in the Asia-Pacific region are heading the same way, with all three early risers in the red. And with that, it's over to Agam Vakil for the trade setup for the day in India. Good morning, Agam. How are we looking today?
Good morning, Alex, and good morning, listeners. Asia has opened lower this morning with the SGX Nifty futures looking at a cut of 80-odd points, which means we can expect further weakness in Indian markets in opening this morning. Once again, right at the top, as far as earnings go, we have United Breweries, where its revenues have declined 12.6% year on year and net profit down 39%. Its margins have also come off to just 9.3% against 10.5%. And a lot of this weakness has been attributed to the last 2 weeks of March owing to the lockdown. We have General Insurance Corporation, where its gross premium has grown 14% year on year at a little over 9,200 crores. It's also posted a net profit of 1,197 crores against a net loss of 1,556 crores. So it has been a reasonably good quarter for GICRE. Moving on to the public sector banking space, we have Canara Bank, where its net interest income has declined 5.2%, and it's also posted a wider loss of 3,200 crores against a loss of 551 crores. Its provisions have also stood higher at 4,800 crores. In terms of earnings today, we will be watching out for Ashok Leyland, Apollo Hospitals and TTK Prestige, among many others. Moving on to Bharti Infratel's board meeting. Well, it has extended its long stop date for Indus Tower deal till 31st August. The board said that conditions that need to be fulfilled for the Indus Tower merger to become effective cannot be completed by June 24th. Each party retains the right to terminate and withdraw from the scheme. BPCL will raise 3,000 crores during the fiscal 2021 via NCDs. And we have Andhra Papers promoter International Paper Investments will sell 10% equity via offer for sale with an option to sell an additional 7.2% equity at a floor price of 186 rupees per share. This comes in at a discount of 20% to yesterday's closing price. Now, these are just some of the stocks we can watch out for as we move into trade today. But don't forget to go through our morning edition of All You Need to Know only on BloombergQuint.com.
Thanks, Agam. And as always, thank you all for listening in. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you can listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma. Or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.